been talking about the intangible benefits. Those intangibles that you can't really measure, you call them the squishy, squashy bits.
I'm going to stop doing that. I got some feedback actually from my husband the other day. He goes, really? I thought this was a business show. I said, yeah. He goes, what the hell is a squishy? I went, well, you've got to put it in context. He goes, no, I don't think I do. So, yeah.
But we're breaking businesses about doing things different. You said something really interesting, I think really does capture this essence of how much the intangibles can really mean to you. Maybe not in the dollar sense. And you said, start with the question, what is it you love? How is it you would love to feel? What is it you'd love to be doing? And then see whether you can make the business fit into that. So when people say, well, how much did that return you? Well, it didn't, but maybe it got you the Friday afternoon off so you can go watch the grandkids do their taekwondo or do their sport. And you can't put a dollar on that.
No.
So starting with what you like, I really liked how you phrased it. Like I thought, oh, that's where intangibles really start to come in.
The thing is that I'm not saying that you need to throw away your business or start again. I'm not advocating that at all. And I'm also not saying that there's not going to be some days where you go, oh, really? And you've just got to put up with that client, you've just got to do whatever else. Because let's face it, especially at the beginning of a business, and I think we've talked about this before, especially at the beginning of a business, you might have your version of the truth, which is, this is what I want to be. This is my goal, and then you reverse engineer from there, which is, of course, your take on life. So,
which is the right one.
And we're saying that you've got here the why, the what, the everything else. You've worked out where you want to be, and you reverse engineered it to know what you need to get there. So there's always going to be something at the beginning, even with a new venture, which is your absolute blissful place. There'll always be pieces that you need to do, which is just the hustle and the grind.
Yes.
And when you're starting a new business, and you really do need to make sure that you do everything you possibly can. To get that to a point where it's earning you the income that you need to do. But once you've done that, don't lose sight of where you want to be. So you might not be doing everything that you want to do now, and that has to be A equals B equals C equals that much for that bill, this much for that bill. I've got to take that client, even though they're not my ideal client and they're not really what I want to be doing, but the value which goes with that piece of work allows me to do such and such. So there's going to be that at the beginning. You're going to have to do that. But once you get a bit stable, then as soon as you possibly can, I would really encourage you to go, hang on a minute, what do I really want this to be? And start to work towards that. And it might be that occasionally you fire a client. I've done that on more than one occasion. But you have to have an idea with what you're doing. I mean, I've fired clients because of the way they treat my staff.
Yes.
We talked about that,
which
is quite a difference. And again, that's an intangible ROI. I've got a $10,000 contract walking out the door because every time the person rings, they're really rude to my team member.
Yes.
Now, talking about intangible ROI, I'd suggest that's a negative, tangible ROI, but the intangible ROI which goes with that, which is about my team feeling empowered to take control of their workplace, to be that they feel valued, and we've talked about that before, that's the intangible which goes with that decision.
And $10,000 client, but how much do you pay a team member for the year? And if they can contribute, they probably contribute more than, you just can't measure that 10,000. But
what you can see is my accounts guys go to me, you did what?
Yeah.
That was a $10,000 contract. Yep, it was a $10,000 annual reoccurring contract. Yep.
But isn't it funny, you stick by your values, and values are really intangible as well. And yes, you got rid of a $10,000 client, but the business still grew.
Yes. Not only that, I can retain my team members. I mean, has anybody ever worked out how much it costs you to replace a team member? My God.
There's an intangible.
I've got one of them coming up soon. She's pregnant. How dare she?
Yes.
Have her own life. She's leaving. What?
Have her own life? Goodness
I
me.
know. I kept telling her that perhaps she could reschedule the baby until sort of sometime in the middle of next year, but she won't have it.
Didn't you tell her that if you wanted her to have a baby, you would have issued her one?
I did. Unfortunately, her partner didn't find that quite as funny as we did, but that's fine.
Yes.
He's a little bit different than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Lovely guy, but very straight down the line.
Okay. But that's an intangible art. How many times have you done that? No, the world's falling apart, and at the end of the year, your business grew.
Exactly. And this thing is, sometimes you need to take what seems like a huge risk, and this is what I always say with my guys, and we've talked about it before, is if it's client focused, if it's you focused, if it looks after, if it meets the value system, then make the decision. Worst case scenario, we unmake it and we do it again. But that empowers the guys. So again, more decisions and investment in my team, which makes them feel. And you can't measure the impact of having, well, you can, because if you don't have an effective team that feels valued and is cohesive, you don't have a business.
I think one thing about intangibles as well, sometimes you can feel like you're falling and it's like, oh, I'm not getting anything for it. But someone, and I can't remember who it was, but it certainly is not my phrase, it comes from somebody else off the internet and one of the gurus that you hear around the place, and he said, if you're falling, fall forward.
Yes, was that?
And I can't remember who said it.
That might even have been
but it
Tony
was,
Robbins.
Yeah, it could have been. Fall forward. So, yes, you've lost a client, but you've maintained your staff member. Yeah, you fall, get up, and you work on together. And he didn't give that exact example, but it was, make sure you're falling forward. You're progressing to do so. Do it for a good reason.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't hurt as much.
No, that's exactly right.
Yes.
And I get the same, and some of those other things that you can do, again, around the clients and the falling side of things is, I have had to learn that I can sometimes, because of course we've been around for a while now, you can see that something's going to fail.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to fail catastrophically. So then you go, right, if I intervene, I can rescue this.
Yeah.
But if it falls over, what's the worst thing that can happen? And is the intangible payoff for that actually falling over more valuable than what it's going to cost me?
So intangibles, to summarise it, are how you feel gut instinct inside of yourself. Almost.
Why not?
Pretty close.
Yeah. They're the things, they're the benefits, and sometimes they're the negatives, but generally they're the benefits that you can't put a number on, but still have a positive impact on your business, your team, you as an individual. They move you into a space of betterness.
It's like doing decision making, isn't it? You and I always say you need to have 3 choices to make a good decision. And if you did it on paper, tangible stuff, maybe option A is the right one.
Logically the best one.
But inside, gut instinct, you go, oh, it's C. And you go with that one anyway.
Yeah.
And
well, it's blink. We need to talk about blink decision making and thin slicing.
Oh, we'll do that on the next show.
Blink decision making and thin slicing. Shall you join me next week?
I certainly will.
Shall we do it? Cool. Thank you for joining us.